Hi, Thrivers! How's it going? Welcome back to Thriving in Spain, the podcast for expats who are done with survival mode and ready to thrive, even if they still confuse por and para on a daily basis. I'm Vero, your favorite ontological coach, and someone who's learned that fluency is less about grammar and more about guts. And today, we're diving into a topic that hits deep when you're living abroad: overcoming language barriers with confidence. Now, let's be real. Speaking another language isn't just about vocabulary, it's about identity. When you can express yourself fully, you just don't lose words. You feel like you're losing a piece of you. Sound familiar? Maybe you used to be quick-witted and articulate, and now you're giving, yes, I go, I like, cheese. Maybe you're always speaking up in public because someone once laughed at your accent. Or maybe your brain just crashes after a 3-minute small talk attempt. I get it, I've been there. As you know, I lived in the States for 6 years, and I went there with a, say, low intermediate level, so I definitely know the struggle that you were going through. And you know what? The worst thought that shows up is this one. At least it was for me. Maybe I'm just not confident anymore. But here's the coaching reframe. That's not a lack of confidence, really. That's ontological disorientation. I know it sounds fancy, but hear me out. In ontological coaching, we know that language and identity are deeply connected. You just don't use the language, your language. So when you lose fluency, even temporarily, you feel like you're losing yourself. But here's the truth. You're not broken, you're expanding, and yeah, it feels messy, it feels uncomfortable, and for sure, you're still awesome. So, real talk. Your ego just misses feeling clever. You can be smart, funny, and lovable, even if you mix up past tenses like like everyone else, you know? So, this isn't about perfection, it's about presence. So here, I'm going to give you 4 real strategies to help you shift from shutdown to confident connection. The first one is normalize the wobble. Language is a muscle, not a magic trick. So you will freeze, you will say weird things, and you will get stared at, and that's fine, you know? I remember like the first month living in the States, I was just like in the freeze mode, you know? And I was saying weird things, like some random shit, to be honest. Kind of like, oh yeah, I like to go to work in underwear. Instead of saying underground. And stuff like that, you know? So I totally get it. But next time this happens to you, say, okay, brain, we're learning. I got you. You're not failing, you're just stretching, you know? And the second tip for you is choose connection over perfection. And this is actually my mantra. People don't want perfect, they want real. Focus on the energy behind your words. Focus on the smile, the eye contact, the intention. Confidence is not like sounding native. Confidence is saying, I'm here, I'm trying, and I care. The third tip that I have for you is speak from your body. Before you speak, pause, breathe, ground yourself. Confidence is a felt thing, not just something you mentally declare. So try this. Plant your feet, relax your shoulders, let your words ride your breath. And if you mess up, move on, laugh, you know, it's okay. And then the fourth tip that I have for you, redefine confidence. For example, you have like an old definition. Confidence means getting it right. This is an old definition for about confidence. And the new one would be confidence means showing up anyway. So let it and lend it and just be yourself, you know? Just have this confidence just from showing up. So I want you to do some reflection this week if you can and ask yourself these questions. Who are you trying to be when you speak this language? What are you afraid people will see? And what new part of you is being invited to emerge? So let yourself be in these questions, and that's where transformation happens. And my mini challenge of the week for you is say something imperfect, but on purpose. Yep, I'm serious. Order something in Spanish, ask for directions, tell a joke that doesn't land, and stay with yourself while you do it. Because fluency doesn't come from silence. It comes from daring. Alright, my dear student, that's it for this episode. And remember, your accent is not a mistake. It's a sign of bravery, expansion, and being alive in another language. And if you need support reclaiming your confidence, building your Spanish voice, or just navigating life abroad with a bit more power and ease maybe, you know where to find me. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week on Thriving in Spain.